Good morning, friends. Anne here, got my cup of coffee, got the Word of God, and today's reading is Mark chapter 14, verses 12 through 42. This is the time where we talk about Jesus at the Last Supper with his disciples. He then goes on to predict Peter's denial, and then he has prayer with them in the Garden of Gethsemane. What I want to focus on in this video, though, is Peter, because we know that Peter is one of Jesus's closest disciples. And he is one that is so passionate that he said during dinner that he would never betray Jesus. He would never leave Jesus. And this is what happens in verse 30. "Truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "today, yes, tonight, before the rooster crows twice, you yourself will disown me 3 times. Friends, Jesus predicted that Peter was going to have a crisis of identity, a crisis of association, that Peter was going to be tempted to deny Jesus not once, not twice, but 3 times. And that even as close as he was to Jesus, even as insistent as he was that his faith could withstand it, he would give in. And then Jesus takes a couple of his disciples up to the Garden of Gethsemane. This is what it says in verse 32. "They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, 'Sit here while I pray.'" We know that some of the other gospels say watch and pray, that it wasn't just that he invited them to sit there and watch him pray, but they were supposed to be in prayer too. And it says this: "He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. 'My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death,' he said to them. 'Stay here and keep watch.'" They were supposed to keep watch and pray. This is his first instruction to them. Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Simon," he said to Peter. Notice he calls him Simon, which is his old name, not his new name that means the rock. "Are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation." What's the temptation? To deny Jesus. "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Once more, he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the 3rd time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough, the hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." Friends, I think it's significant that Jesus asked Peter to watch and pray, to make sure that he would not fall into temptation. And 3 times Jesus gave him the instruction. 3 times he came back and found that Peter was asleep. And then we know that in future passages that it's just right down in verse 66, we read that Peter disowns Jesus 3 times. Friends, Jesus gave Peter 3 chances and 3 reminders to pray that he would be able to stay away and keep away from temptation. And 3 times Peter betrays Jesus. I once heard that spiritual battles are often won or lost before the war. And friends, Jesus was giving Peter the opportunity to change the outcome of the spiritual battle that he was going to face. And Peter did not take advantage of that opportunity. Friends, I wonder how many times when we face temptation, we go to God in prayer in the middle of our temptation, and we have been given so many times to gird ourselves up in prayer before the temptation actually happens. Friends, pray, pray, pray. Continue to watch and pray, because spiritual battles are often won or lost before the war. Have a good day.